Does anyone want to hear about my culture shock in Jamaica? Wagwan, folks. My name is Tanaya, and I'm going to be sharing with you some culture shock experiences as a born and raised Philly girl, now living in Jamaica. So, it may be a surprise to you if you're not from Philly, some of the things that we experience, but they don't say what they say about Philly women for no reason, okay? So, I'm going to be referring to my list on my laptop because I wanted to make this cohesive. Okay, because I can talk and I can jump around. The greetings are so nice here. So if I'm in Philly, I don't even know how people greet you. The greetings in Philly seem to be most respectful, and like the respect is reserved for people who you know and who you are close to. So I'm not gonna lie. Sometimes we'll be on the street, yo, what's up, yo, what's up, like, you know, then that's like it's kind of love in that statement, but you might hear people calling people the B word and the N word, or, you know, a guy might try to holler at you, and as soon as you don't like it, now you're getting cursed out, you're being called a beep, 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 beep. And so the greetings here: general, boss, para, tata, okay, auntie. And it's reserved for, you know, like anybody on the street. I might even call you mama. Empress, the way that your body looks. You know, I talked about this before on my Instagram, how it seems to be a move away from body shaming people for, you know, how they're presenting. Versus in America, you'll be called obese. They got this thing going on with big back because of social media. And then society determines whether thick or slim is more in at different points and stuff like that. And then here you hear words like champion for somebody that's sticking. You feel me? Fluffy, like that sounds fun. Whereas back in Philly, they're not calling that fluffy because fluffy seems fun and cute and reserved. It's something that you want to play with and like feel. Of course, I want to talk about somebody's body in that way instead of, you know, whatever else somebody may say. So that was a culture shock to me. Somebody walked down the street. I walked down the street and somebody was calling me a champion. Like, oh, I am a champion. So I didn't know what it meant at first. I thought he was just kind of speaking to the fact that, like, I look like I'm a winner. But yeah, so there's that one. They'll call you by your outfit. They'll call you by what you're doing or what you're selling. So, for example, I walked past a man selling books, and I was in Jamaica long enough to be like, oh, book man. You understand? Because you might see the patty man, you might see the this lady or that, like, so they literally will call themselves that until you develop a different relationship with them where you know somebody different. So yeah, the respect names, calling you by your outfit, calling you by what you're doing, or even the way that your body looks. So they'll say short man, they'll say China man, they'll say tall man. You know, if you're a Rasta, they'll say fire, they'll say fire boss. Like, and then it's a respect level, right? So you could be short man, then you could be short boss. You feel me? And I love it. I just love it. I love being out on the street and like empress, and it be women to other women. And of course, we show women love in Philly. You know what I'm saying? When you are a confident, secure, beautiful, loving woman, you're going to give that energy out naturally. So I've experienced it same way. You know, people, oh my gosh, you look so beautiful, or da da da, but they'll straight be like, yo, beautiful, yo, empress. So something that was really, really deep for me was the first time that I saw my lover beep at somebody in the streets. I said, oh my gosh, you're beeping, they're gonna shoot us. And so that's like a big thing in Philly. You don't beep at people. You just don't beep at people if you value your life. If you love your life, you're not gonna beep and honk, because people, you'll beep at them and they'll pull up to you at the shot light with a pew, you know what I'm saying? And pull up to you at a stoplight with the blick, and that's just not what you want to experience. And so that's what my nervous system has learned over time, just from hearing people's experiences, seeing things on social media, and then feeling the environment of the city and all that, even witnessing how road rage people get about being beeped at. And then here in Jamaica now, people beep at each other to show each other love. Like, that's how you get somebody's attention. That's how you say thank you. That's how you beep, to just be like, you going through the town, going through the community of yours. Beeping, kind of just saying what's up. Beeping just means what's up. Beeping doesn't mean I want to fight you, or I'm not valuing my life and I would like to get into a situation that is much deeper and we don't know the outcome. That was a big culture shock for me. The fact that everybody beeps at each other, and they're beeping at each other out of love, out of respect, out of hey, and out of thank you. Big one, big one, big one. I saw the woman, what is her name? Know Your Caribbean on Instagram. She posted something about how a lot of people in the Caribbean don't realize the privileges that they grow up in. And one culture shock for me specifically, while seeing the Caribbean in general, not just Jamaica, or seeing parts of the Caribbean, not all of it, is that the billboards, the advertisements, the magazines, whatever piece of media all has people that look like them on it. I grew up, right, you know, in the city, in America. So everything got white people on it. And like, I don't have no shade towards all white people. Like, you understand? But we know the impacts that white supremacy and racial this, and we know the impacts that that had and still has on America today. If you choose to subscribe to a certain reality where that's like all you fight for, then that's different, but that's just not my life specifically. I'm aware of what's happened, and I see the influence on my own life. I'll just say that. Because when you grow up and you want to be a model, and then you only see white models as somebody that look like you, and you'll be a little thicker and things like that, it's nice to have representation your whole life, to where you see, oh, people like me on billboards. Oh, people like me are in the TV. Oh, people like me are... That's such a privilege. That's such a privilege. And I think that that's really, really beautiful. It's really comforting here, honestly, to where I'm riding around, looking at the billboards, looking at the faces on the trucks, looking at people's ads for eyeglasses and dental work and all of these things, and it's just brown people or people that we call black or so-called black people. I'm still working through that. As you know, if you look at my writing or follow me on Instagram, you see my I'm trying to find something that makes me feel more comfortable other than saying black people, but black people is what we know each other as type of thing. But it's just not true like that. Just like other people aren't white and black are just kind of created. And I'm trying to move away from saying it, but I haven't found something that feels most natural to me. And so-called black for right now, meaning we are so-called that, but actually we are something much different that, you know, they made us create a word for it. Anyway, that's the privilege. That was a culture shock to me, being here and seeing like, oh wow, people that look like me are everywhere on the magazines in real life. Like, it did something for my heart. Another thing is the fruit trees being all over. I love fruit. I love food in general, but fruit, it just takes the cake. It takes the cake for me, literally. So when I grew up, there weren't many fruit trees all around me. I don't think that I would have had the consciousness to be looking when I was younger, like back in 1998. And even moving on, because I'm not really sure when this happened in Philadelphia, but I know for sure that they removed all female trees from Philadelphia. Or I won't say they removed them, but they intentionally continue to plant only male trees, because fruit trees, female trees, whatever, will produce fruit, will bear fruit. And I think that there is such hostility towards what they call homeless people. They're just houseless or whatever. It's just that whole thing. I feel something about like how they created hostile architecture and all these type of things. They created a hostile environment where you take away the natural equilibrium of feminine and masculine inside of a whole network of trees in the whole city. So I won't speak for the whole entire everything, because I know that nature provides. So I've seen pawpaw in the city, or I've seen people eating pawpaw in the city. I haven't had it myself. Not pawpaw. If you're in Jamaica, you're going to think that I'm talking about papaya, and it's not papaya. Pawpaw and papaya, very different in Philadelphia. Here, there's fruit everywhere. Every single where that you can think of, there's a fruit tree. And so that means that people can eat everywhere. And that also means that people can take the seeds from that fruit and then plant it and things like that. So I love the openness of that. I love the availability of the fruit trees. Oh my goodness. Right now I'm looking at an avocado tree, a coconut tree, a cedar tree, not a coconut, a breadfruit tree, a pomegranate. It's just like, I just looked right there to my left. I would have to go look onto the highway and look through my vehicle until I get to a shopping mart, until I get to a food market, in order to find some fruit that was grown in Philadelphia. So yeah, I won't speak for the whole United States, because we get our produce sometimes from New Jersey, because New Jersey is the garden state and things like that. So maybe they still got some fruit trees over there. We know there's apple orchids and all this type of stuff. So I'm not saying that there's no fruit being grown nearby. I'm speaking to the intentionality of planting male trees, and also the increase and influx of allergies because of such, because you need the balance. And outside of the fruit trees in abundance, I have that there's a by design way to ensure that people are eating food in stores that make them sick, and some type of connection to people actually being scared of nature. People are not wanting to eat something that is from nature, because they view nature as dirty, as scary, as sick. Oh, I'm not eating nothing from no tree. I'm not eating nothing from the ground. But it's like, oh, so you rather eat something from a factory? Got it. Mind control. So there's this deep indoctrination there. Another thing, culture shock, that I love is that things aren't pushed or influenced here the way that they are in the US. And in my notes I wrote gender confusion, but I won't call it gender confusion. I won't say that people are confused, because I know that if I were to go back to ancient cultures, there were people expressing in many different ways beyond what we know as how someone expresses as a woman and how someone expresses as a man. However, the fact that we're trying to, you won't hear pregnant people in Jamaica. You won't hear that phrase. You won't hear that phrase. You won't hear people trying to convince you that they are something that they aren't or not. And then you just won't hear it. It's just not here. So I kind of love that. And let me be very, 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 very specific, just in case anybody takes this wrong. Because lately when I speak about this, people hear more about what I don't say than what I do say. I'm all about love. I support love. And when I say love, I'm not talking about romantic love. I'm talking about love as in respecting other human beings, treating somebody the way that you want to be treated, being willing to challenge someone for their growth and things like that. I'm talking about that type of love. And so there's no judgment for me about what somebody chooses to do with their life, how they want to dress. I think everybody is sexy when they're owning it, when they're being confident, when they don't need any external validation for how they want to express. Because that's how it was ancient. There weren't no rules created for how gender was. And so there wasn't any rules for how somebody could express themselves. And so people didn't need to be like, you need to call me this, or you're disrespecting my whole life. Baby, you're disrespecting your own life. I might cut that out. I want to talk about the nicknames here. So when I first started meeting people that was from Jamaica, but I was in Philly, I realized that they had multiple names. So I'm like, so do I call you Josh? Do I call you Beanhead? Do I call you Pen Pen? Or do I call you Pop, even though your government name is actually Wendell? But I love it. I love it because it's so expansive. Usually all the nicknames that I ran into in Jamaica, they have something to do with something in childhood. So let's say, for example, somebody was called Dumpling. It might be because every time he went to his grandma's house, he requested dumplings. Like, you know what I'm saying? And it's something that's thick and it's very, very cute. We got people out here nicknamed Poom Poom, and it's really amazing. I love that. And I also love that the more nicknames it seems that you know about the person, the more connected y'all are. Like, imagine, you know, you met somebody and they only had 1 or 2 nicknames. Then by the time y'all get big, you turn to a big man, a big woman. Now you done seen them have all 4 or 5 nicknames, and you know all of them, and you know the stories behind all of them. And so I really love that the folklore of like your nickname following you throughout your life, but it's like connected, you know, because they could even be embarrassed, or it could have been something that they was embarrassed about, but they own it now. When it comes to nicknames, I feel that as we get older in Philly, we kind of drop our nicknames unless it was one of them nicknames that really, really stick. Like, some people may be embarrassed at their childhood nickname, and so they drop it, or they don't tell anybody it. And so like that version of themselves died with the nickname, died with the time. You try to call them that now, they might not answer you. And I just don't have that experience of witnessing that in Jamaica. And then I have just the culture shock of certain things that people saying just being cute. Okay, so in Philly, we might be like, oh, let me use it, or let me taste it. In Jamaica, make me taste it. Like, instead of let me, is make me. Like, make me do this, make me have this experience. Not let me, make me. So it's just a cute thing to hear in the ear. Oh, make me hold it. Not let me hold it. Make me hold it. I mean, they do still say pick it up, but I also hear take it up more often. Take up the bottle. Take up the bottle mean pick up the bottle and give it to me. Yeah, so pick up and take up. Take it up. Like I said, it's not always that way, but hearing take it up was new to me. I also love the cultural experience of sharing the food instead of serving the food. So when my lover was saying this to me last year, he like, are you going to share the food? I'm like, why wouldn't I share it? I cooked it for both of us. What are you talking about? And he's meaning like, are you going to put it on the plate for both of us and bring it out? Instead of serve, share. And so I love that communal experience, that whole, when you say that word, it just shifts the intention. I never had nothing behind like serving the food, because it just was what it was, right? But sharing the food, oh yeah, I'm going to share the food, go sit down. Like, that just sounds so, I just love that. I just love that. I love it. And it's also because I grew up as an only child, it made me more comfortable with literally sharing food. As in sharing something that I have for me and giving you a piece of it, because like every night I hear share the food, share the food, share the food. Oh, so that's what I just do naturally. I share food. Then I have 2 more things just about stuff that I've heard. So I realized that when people are saying, oh, you're not easy, like you're not easy, it means like you're not being lighthearted about something. So it could be in a more, they could be saying it in a stiff way, like you're not easy, and like kissing their teeth at you, a type of thing, and like wanting to get away from you or move away from that situation or move away from that energy. But it literally just means the way that your heart is about it is not matching the way that my heart is about it. And so now you just not easy. You're not easy, man. So that's that when you're being perceived as not lighthearted. And the last one is cross and miserable. So cross means vexed or annoyed and things like that. When you say cross and miserable, it's kind of like, I got offended when somebody said miserable. I said miserable. I'm not miserable. I don't misery. You know what I'm saying? But we grow up hearing such deep, like if you're miserable, you got to be deep in the depths of sadness or anger or something. So when you say cross and miserable, it's more of a lighthearted way to say like you annoyed, like. All right, that's what I think. But my interpretation of miserable is not the same as how they use it here. So that's another one. The way that the people them use Ras and stuff, it could be a Ras hole, Ras gliding, mirror outside of Bumba cloud, because that's what I've heard. And then I don't know if it's even going to get banned. I don't think you're allowed to say that on the radio and stuff or in the media. But okay. The last thing I wanted to say though, I literally have it. I'm going to say it verbatim. Anyone that can raise the voices on this, see this. Why in the Ras don't 100% of Jamaicans have access to 100% of their beaches? I just feel like that's kind of crazy. It got me hot, literally hot. Kind of just a few things about my culture shock that I've jotted down that maybe someone could find interesting or relate to or something like that. So as I increase my pot, while these videos may get increasingly more Jamaican sounding instead of American sounding, but I just more about just being who I am, settling myself into my new home. Let me show y'all outside before I end this. Stepping out on the balcony. Hey. You want to say hi to my people then? Let me say, all right. All right. This is the life. Hold on tight. So yeah, that's a culture shock too. I'm used to buildings. This is my bliss. This is my home.